right. We made it back. At long last. Thank God. Earlier than when I usually stream, so I apologize about that, but it's the only time I can do it right now. We'll see if people can roll in. Again, I know it's several hours earlier than I usually do, but it's all right. It'll still be here. It'll still be relevant for whenever people actually get on. Because we had a lot to talk about. Like, a lot to talk about. If you notice, I don't have Bitcoin up on the screen. I have the S&P 500, which I feel like is relevant for right now. Because everyone's like, oh, man, what a dog shit end of the week we had. Yeah, true. It was OPEX, you know. Options expiration crushed at the end of the week, but nothing's really happening. And this is a good litmus test for anybody when you're looking at the market. Like, obviously we caught the top here beautifully, talked about it when it happened, and that was a nice move down on the S&P. Hey, Jacob, Avacar, what's up? But we're hanging out around neutral for momentum, so there's really like nothing going on. There's more in Bitcoin happening, but I always like to start macro and then we'll kind of drill down. So I don't see much happening with the S&P. We'll talk about that a little bit more. We're talking about Bitcoin. We're going to talk about the golden ratios. We're going to talk about Bitcoin dominance, Ethereum, ETH BTC, Linketh, and confirmed a lot of things that we thought in terms of, you know, protocols that have relative strength, which is nice. So this should be pretty impactful, and we'll go as long as it takes or as long as it makes sense. And if people have questions, just fire them out, right? So if you have questions or things you want to see, just drop them in the chat. Flashbang, I see you on YouTube. I don't really have a workaround for that anymore, so I have YouTube up on my other computer, so that way I can talk to both you guys. Because Restream is just crooked. So we'll do this instead. Anytime you're sitting around the 50-day moving average with the S&P, hold on, Moon Lambos, what's up? Anytime you're just sitting around the 50 in the S&P, like, again, it's a mean reverting instrument. Van City, what's up? Good to see you. Good to see you guys. I'm glad you're coming out. I know we're early, but hopefully that's better for some of you, and the rest of you will just watch on replay. But anytime you see the S&P, which is a mean reverting instrument, just hanging out around the 50-day moving average, you know you're not really in for anything crazy yet. And I'll open up the Bollinger Bands here really quick to kind of hammer home the point. But there, load here. There you go. See how we're just sitting right in the middle of everything? We're sitting right in the middle of everything. So we're not at the top band of the volatility. We're literally sitting mid-range, which is good. I mean, look back. How often do we usually sit at mid-range? Not very often. Not very often. And it's not like it would be a horrible thing if we did, sit around the mid-range for a while, because all it would do would condense the Bollinger Bands and then make the next move crazy. In fact, Flashbang has done a nice job talking about the volatility of Bitcoin, and he's generally been right about, when this stuff takes off. So it's something worth watching. But when the S&P is just sitting here, and I guarantee you, if you look back at OPEX each month, it usually sits about the same place. It usually sits around mid-range. No one ever, it's hard for people to pin against one side of the Bollinger Bands, because that means someone's getting absolutely rich on options. So you just don't see that as often. So we don't see a ton going on here. We'll go to the weekly chart on the S&P, because I feel like this is what we've been talking about forever. The good news is we held this breakout, and that's what we talked about. Put this line up here, came down, held it. It's the last time I streamed. We'll probably come down here, test it, and just hang out, and that's exactly what we're doing. Last week, I said we'll probably go up to 45.65 and reject in the chat. Hey, guess what happened, guys? We went to 45.65 and rejected, like almost to the dollar that I called. But I'm not being like, hey, that's amazing, because it's just how this shit goes. And hopefully you guys are starting to see this too, where there's just repeatable, patterns that just happen. When you get a breakdown or we form an actual pivot, a real pivot, not a pivot. A lot of people think things are pivots and they're not, right? Even here, these are like less significant pivots in a move higher because the trend continued. It's the pivot that then forced a change in the trend that makes a bigger difference, right? So yeah, we got a higher high, a higher low, a higher high, higher low, and these are technically pivots when they turn, but this higher high caused a lower low. So you know that this is more significant, okay? This area is going to be more significant because it actually turned. Link, what's up, buddy? 17 months. Thank you for subscribing for so long, dude. I appreciate it. I have an announcement that I'm going to make at the end of this stream. And it's going to be fun. It's going to be really good for people who have been loyal. So don't let me get off without talking about it. So we saw this pivot. We made a lower low off the most recent pivot and came back up and rejected. This is that like that initial retest of a pivot usually holds. So whenever you see like a big change in the market come down, when it's retested the first time, it usually holds. So it rejected. That's almost always going to happen, particularly in something like the S&P. Sometimes it doesn't work when you're looking at, a fucking mid cap or some shit like that. But something that trades as much money as the S&P does, then it's usually going to hold. So nothing happening. We're sitting right at the midday. All right, let's click out of this. Yeah, don't care. Pre-sell to expected value coin. There is no expected value coin, but you're in the right ballpark. All right, let's talk about Bitcoin. Let's talk about Bitcoin. Hey guys, look where we stopped. Look where we stopped. It's funny. Do you guys have these on your charts? Like, do you draw these boxes on your charts, or do you just like look at them and go, all right, well, those should be areas I should take a look at? I'm curious because we have been talking about these areas forever. We've been talking about these areas forever. We put boxes. I mean, dude, this is a weekly chart. And this goes back literally a year. More than a year. And this area has continued to be relevant since we started drawing it. And it held the area that we were talking about. We got the rejection. We got the move back to the 50 week. It's been very boring. I know I haven't been streaming because there's been nothing to talk about. Now there are things to talk about. And I've been working on something else, which is great. So you see this area hold. And I don't know if you guys are like, no, you got lucky again or whatever, but these boxes are worth so much money if you just pay attention. Anyway, so they're worth a ton of money if you just pay attention. We come down here, we wick in twice, we wick down twice, and now we're moving back up. This is very strong. This week is going to determine a lot. This week is going to determine a lot because, as I said, when we got this little spike here, I'll go back on the daily. When we got this little spike before, people were like, oh man, is this it? And my answer was, we haven't actually done anything. So right now, it's just a good opportunity to short. And if you just shorted when I said that, you were able to make like, I don't know, a lot of money. Because it went from essentially 28 to 25, 24.8. So almost $4,000 in a move, which is great. But now here we are again. And there's a few things that give me pause. And I don't like, here's the thing. I don't believe, we may be putting in the high right now for the week, but I want to see how we battle for the week. Okay. The reason why I say that is look what we're up against right now. We're actually touching the 50 from the bottom. I'm not saying like, oh, that's the move. I'm just saying that, like I've spoken about several times, whenever you have a down trending line, very rarely do you just rip straight through it. Very rarely do you just like, oh yeah, no, we don't give a shit about that. It does not happen. It doesn't happen like that. So a lot of times you'll run up to it, you'll battle with it. And if we can just stay right here for the week and challenge this area, do some of this and just kind of start to flag and move sideways and give it time to kind of smooth out a little bit without just hard rejecting low, then that gives me a ton of positivity, a ton of bullish mo, if you will, that we will take out this high and kind of re-challenge back. But I would not, like, be careful. What I'm telling you is be careful with what happens this week, because I just don't think it's likely on a 50-day moving average that's descending like this that you just shred right through it. Okay, that you just shred right through it. And you go, well, Jared, there's an example right there. Yeah. Remember what that was? Do you remember what that was? That was all ETF news. That was all ETF news. Droids, what's up? SS, good to see you guys. Thanks for popping in. We're right up against this V-mid. I'm not saying that, like, I need to see this taken out. I just don't want to see this lost, okay? Like this general area here lost. So anywhere above like 26.2, anywhere above 26.2, we can just kind of hold on base, try to hold a higher low on lower time frames. A higher low on lower time frames is how you build into a higher time frame. So if we can just build a little bit, that will give us the strength we need to take out. Really, it's 27.7, 28.2, and then challenge again, maybe even back to 30,000. I think that is possible. I do think that's possible. But it's not going to happen immediately. Unless there's some news that we don't know about, which again, you know, if you see all of a sudden an ETF be approved, you're going to know, whoop, you know, that's why that happened. And those are the outliers. But generally speaking, you're not going to see that. And after that all-time high, you know, maybe, I don't know. It's certainly coming. Because remember, let's go back to the weekly just real quick. Does everyone remember what this dotted line is? The dotted line that you all should have on your charts right here. I have it right here, but it's blocked by the BTC USD. The dotted line. Yeah, it's the halving. Yeah, so Flashbang has it. It's the halving. So if the dotted line is the Flashbang, like we have a lot, or if the dotted line is the halving, as Flashbang said, we've got time. We've got some time before stuff starts to move. Because remember, the halving happened, it always fucks me up. The halving happened back here. It took a little bit, and then we got our crazy run. There obviously were other things in our favor as well. But if all we do is just like kind of reach-out back up to like 35, 36, and just base in this area from now to the halving, then we're going to be absolutely thrilled. Avacar. It looks like you just subbed. It didn't tell me you subbed, but if you did, thank you. I just noticed you have a star next to your name and my picture, so I assume that means you subbed. Thank you. It used to tell me. I don't know why it doesn't anymore. So maybe we take out 30. We can challenge for these double lines, because this is what kind of makes sense to me. This area up to 35, 36 is what, if we're going to get any sort of prolonged moves, that's where you should have your take profits. If we take out this mini high, re-challenge here, get a little breakout, we're not going to 40, 50, 60 right now, but it would be really, really productive, in my opinion, if we can challenge here, probably reject, come back down, base, get the halving, we all move on, right? Move on, meaning that we can make money, move on, wait, and then when the halving comes, we load up for glory. And here's the other thing that I continue to say is worth so much money. Look how consistently accurate this fucking box has been. How do I expect shitcoins to behave until the halving? Not well. Not well. Yeah, I don't think it's going to go well. But you're going to have... It's just going to be like... The best way to put this is, until you see something different... Until you see something different, when you see a protocol that's different, when you see somebody who does something different, as stupid as Friendtech is, and it is stupid, as stupid as Friendtech is, it at least was kind of different, okay? Like, they're taking OnlyFans and making it a crypto protocol. Sweet. Okay, that's, you know, a little bit different. People got excited about it. When you see new things happening, that's why you need to pay attention. Those are things worth buying, because even if they have a crazy run post-release in a bear and you're like, oh my God, you know, I saw it at 50 million and went to 500 million. Like, that's the kind of shit that you buy pullbacks on, because it goes from 50 to 500, pulls back to 200, and then rips to 2 billion in the bull market. So that's the kind of shit where there's like multiple opportunities for 10x's if they're real protocols. If they're real. Not to say that they always are, but that's what I would do. And there's a few that we like, and I'm going to talk about Link and a couple others here in a minute, but I mean, guys, look at this fucking chart. I can't even, I don't even know what to say anymore. I know I said like almost the exact same thing last time, but it just, you can tell where people see value versus the S&P 500. And everyone thought we were going to rip through here. I even had hope we were going to rip through right here, and we didn't. But we're holding this area. It's where you start to see people place value in Bitcoin. And here's the reason why I'm doing this stream at all, and why I was like, oh shit, I got to get back on here, is while doing my review last week, I saw this and I was like, damn, that's awesome. And then look what else. Oh my God, this box that I literally drew in 2021. The box that I drew in 2021. Broke out, and we can now, you know, like when they do political coverage. Plus expected value is ready to confirm that this is now green. Okay. Corey, what's up, brother? Talking about it in past tense. No, I'm not. Look, I know, I'm sure it's having to go right now. I'm sure it's awesome. I'm not on it. There, I'll even open it up just for you. Yeah, that's sick. You know why it works? Because people like porn. That's why it works. But that will have its downfall as well. But what I was saying was, plus expected value is ready to confirm that this resistance has been flipped to support for Bitcoin. Okay. Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, I definitely am. So I just want to see, like I said when I just started here, I want to see us hang around the 50, hopefully just kind of base and move sideways, take this out. I think there's a run, maybe even back to these highs, 30, 31, 32, if it doesn't reject. But that's why this is very easy. So why I drew this line here is if you see something like, if you see this thing cascade below 26.3, that's where I would say this moves over, and you're probably going to see the lows taken out. So if we can't hold this like mini support area, and that's why I draw these boxes, because it's like, I'd love to be more precise than this, but in crypto it just doesn't work. Like, this is the support area now. If that support area gives away this week at any point, it's going to shred down, and it's going to shred and take out these lows, I assure you. So lose this area, you're going to see sub 25 taken out. So all we want, like the way that we move higher from here is like just moves in this area. It's not going to be that long, but you understand my point. We're not going to slice through the 50. We want to move sideways a little bit, go up there, challenge, try to flip it from the top side, and then you can take it out. That's how every move and every higher high works. Okay. You want to see this stuff battle where it matters, because I think what a lot of people don't understand is, like, you look at a chart every day, and the chart does move every day, but it doesn't move the way that you think. And I rarely have volume up on my screen, but you can see the days where there's bigger battles versus smaller just by looking at the volume for the days, right? The aggregate volumes for the day. So people a lot of times mistake price movement for being the end all be all. It's like, well, it moves, so this must be important. Like, not really. You got to look at the volume in the battle that takes place at important prices. That's part of the context that most people get wrong while trading. So now that we're up against a place that matters, the Virgin mid against this move plus the 50-day moving average, are we going to be able to battle? The fact that we got here is good, but it's like 1/5 of the battle. So best case scenario, we hold here, move sideways, and you get like a tightening range where there's people on both sides of the battle. And then maybe if it rejects, it falls back down and doesn't lose this 26.2. And then that's kind of just like a little higher low, gives you the strength to move higher, take out 27.8, maybe 28.2, and then move higher from there, right? So look for the productive move on this RGO, and then you'll feel better about what happens next. More so, I mean, this is more damning, I think, for alts than anything else at this point. Because Bitcoin, this is a weekly fucking chart, guys. This is Bitcoin dominance on a weekly fucking chart. I drew this red box like 2 years ago. 2 years ago, I drew this box. And it finally broke out. Not only did it break out, but it came back and retested it and confirmed that Bitcoin dominance is rising. It confirmed that Bitcoin dominance is rising, which is what we want. It's what we have to have happen. It's what we have to have happen. But if you hold alts, it's not ideal, right? It's not ideal. Am I worried about head and shoulders on Bitcoin? No. I don't see one that's relevant to me at this moment. This wouldn't be a head. This is not like a right shoulder here. In fact, this is too high. I don't see it anywhere. Yeah. There hasn't been enough price movements for me to consider that a valid technical setup. So I don't see that as a real concern. Weekly on Ethereum. Undercut this box, which I don't love, but it is holding the 50. So I'll be curious to see if there's a catch-up move here or if this flips from support to resistance. It hasn't gone down enough for me to be like, oh, this is clearly broken. But this is a weekly chart. We've spent 4 weeks underneath here. We need to see whatever move we're about to have happen go higher. Now, that kind of flies in the face of what I just said with Bitcoin dominance because it would stand to reason then that, ETH dominance is going to go down, which, there it is. But hopefully you can see Ethereum try to hold serve and pop back up here, at least versus the S&P, which is the next chart here. It's kind of just like an undercut of the previous low. I think that people are going to be more excited about what happens on Ethereum or what comes up next on Ethereum in the next cycle, which I think is where Ethereum finally hits its destiny and gets to 0.10 on ETH BTC. But it's going to be Bitcoin's game for a while here. And this confirms that because, guys, look at where this moves from here. I've never looked at this as a monthly chart. If you want, no, the steel's right. Desty. Sorry, I thought it was an L. I can't see. My eyes don't work so good. Yeah, I mean, you're gonna, and the thing is picking the right ones. We're gonna talk about that in a moment here, but picking the right ones, it's great news if you have confidence in your ability to pick the right alts. Yeah, this doesn't. I don't love this, to be honest with you. We'll see what happens. So that's a place to monitor. This 53%. I'm gonna put it on my daily and weekly chart as well, because that's a pretty clear area that it just kind of sliced through. I thought I was gonna pull this up and we weren't gonna see anything until like right here. So kind of shocking myself a little bit. I thought we would see like 58% be in the move if this thing kept going, and I need to think about that for a while. Either way, one of those two will be the place that it stops. And the nice thing is, per Desty's point, if you have things that you like, and I do, alts that you like, and I do, this is the playbook for when you buy those things. Because will the price go up? Yes. But if you're playing this appropriately, like holding primarily Bitcoin, if you're playing this appropriately, and by that I mean holding primarily Bitcoin until this thing changes, then you can switch from Bitcoin to Ethereum, catch the ride in Ethereum, and then switch from Ethereum into those alts that you like. And you should be able to catch what's maybe only 10, 20, 30% moves in each one, turn them into multiple X's if you move appropriately, which is all I do these days. Don't worry about the intraday trappings of crypto land, right? So that's very, very strong. Ethereum, we need it to bounce back. Let's look at ETH BTC. I've been talking about this for a while because I said before I didn't think that this was ready, and we were right. Okay. We knew that was bullshit right here. We knew that whole move was bullshit. It kicked back down, and here we are sitting. We're almost to the point where if you were to have an inverse head and shoulders, like, we're not far away from that. And, like, the thing is, on this level, like, that's the lowest I would want to see that go. So, in fact, as I drew this, decision time for ETH BTC in first head and shoulders. Okay. If you see that alarm go off, and I recommend you set that alarm in your trading view as well. If you see that alarm go off, you're going to want to pay the fuck attention, because that is going to be a spot that we do not want to lose. Like, on God, we don't want to lose it, because if we do, then if we lose, I'm again, plus expected value is ready to project. If we lose this area, 0.057, then it's likely, Marquette, what's up? 0.043 comes after that. So put this line on your chart. It's going to be important. I'm not the only person who knows that, who sees that as an important area. It just depends on exactly how this moves, on how Bitcoin dominance moves. Dano, what's up? Early morning stream. You know, it's different. What's changed for me in the past month, 5 weeks since I haven't streamed, is my son goes to real school now. Like, you know, he was, fucking preschool or shit didn't matter. It was like a couple days a week. You drop him off at like noon, pick him up at 3, whatever. Now he goes to like school for a full day. And, my wife has a real job. And I just, do trade fucking internet tokens. So I like take him, and I swear to God, I felt like school days when I was in school. This is sorry for this rant. I know a bunch of people just logged on, but I feel like school days back in the day lasted forever. But like, I drop my son off and I come home and I do like 4 things, and it's like, Jesus, I gotta go pick him up again. Anyway, the struggle is real. You guys all know about it. So here we look at Link, and you go, man, Link just fucking holds. There's nothing happening in Link land, right? But Dan knows where I'm going. He likes to pop in and say shit right as I'm about to unveil some big thing and just ruin it in the chat. So you've seen these deviations happen. Yeah, stablecoin. However, bang. Oh, man. A breakout from the downtrend and putting in a higher low against Ethereum is so fucking bullish. I can't even stand it. Like, as things are boring and price is going down and people are losing interest, Link found a way to break out from a descending trend line on a weekly that goes back into 2021 or further and put in a higher low against Ethereum. Now, to confirm this, we need to see it take this out and actually like flip this 50 week. And if it flips the 50 week and you've been listening to me at all, we're going to make a lot of money on Link. Like, a lot of money on Link. So even though this is very fucking boring, this is awesome. Because you don't see stuff like this right now. Go look at like relative strength of alts at this moment. Yeah. Not going to see it. But Link does. Even though this looks like shit. This is why Link, ETH, or whatever, alt ETH, or BTC, doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter. I like to do it versus Ethereum because it helps me organize my thoughts better to be like, how does Ethereum play into Bitcoin? And then how does everything else play into Ethereum? Because I can see those charts in my head and easier to process them. Yeah, up 5% on... Exactly, dude. Yesterday. And so for that to be happening when things are pretty boring, like, I'm telling you guys, I believe next cycle you will see all-time highs on Link. I believe next cycle you will see all-time highs on Link. They're going to be too vital for the Web3 economy and what they're trying to do to integrate with like traditional Web2 that you will see some crazy, crazy shit out of Link. This one's going to be harder to make all-time highs, but I think we'll take anywhere near here versus Ethereum if what happens, happens. Just for those who are playing at home, that's... yeah, that's 1,000% versus Ethereum. It's not bad. I mean, it's roughly the same versus the US dollar. Like Maxi, yeah, I mean, there's no reason not to be, dude. Like, and maybe there's more. I just haven't paid attention as much because I've seen other cryptos that have relative strength, but I haven't seen the narrative that supports that relative strength, which means it probably does exist, but it doesn't mean that it's like easily understood, digested. Like you can tell to somebody and they're like, oh, fuck yeah. Like Link, when you look into it, is like, oh, fuck yeah, this is awesome. So that's a pretty great thing. And we'll see what happens here. But all you need to do to continue and to confirm what we already know about Link is we need to see this like hopefully taken out and flipped. So we already know, like, this is so unbelievably positive that as shit kind of came back down and was basing and not looking good on Bitcoin, Ethereum put in a higher low. So like the most bullish thing that could happen now would be like take this out and then flip it, right? If you can take the 50-day out, get over here, maybe come, actually, yeah, that's pretty good. It would probably come up into that V mid, turn around, turn another higher low. Now you have a trend change. People would start seeing it, and it will, you'll start seeing stupid ass Link Marine. Not you, Link Marine. I love you, but the actual Link Marines coming out and being like, "Oh shit, we're gonna do it." That's when you'll know. All right, Link BTC. You're throwing off my game. Yeah, looks good. Yeah, I mean, so that actually is easier to see, like this whole resistance area. So it is slightly easier to see that if this were to happen on BTC, it would look like that, right? So flipping that 0.0002 area on Link BTC, pretty sexy. Pretty sexy, dude. That is what we want. Banana, I'm not doing that. You know what's funny? I minted that shit and I forgot to even go, I don't know, do something with it. I'm assuming I can't claim anymore, but I was on it. The Solana maxis are just down horrendously. I don't know what people thought was going to happen here. I mean, the fact that there's even a wick on this up into the 30s is obscene because it should have never happened. Like, do you understand how many people are just unloading into this whenever they can? And the thing is, I like Solana. Like, I want Solana to do well. It's just tainted. So they need, like, every single non-Bitcoin and Ethereum token needs something right now, right? Like, they need something. They need, we're doing this differently, or we're making this innovation, or we found this revenue stream. And remember, like, my thesis for this next cycle is much like Alan's. And that is, we're going to be looking at protocols that have the ability to make money or to do something to like perpetuate its own protocol. Okay. So that's what the plan is for me when I'm looking at alts. And Solana has just so much baggage to overcome. For them to be able to do that, and maybe I need to look into this more. I don't know what's happening in the court proceedings. It's going to take an absolutely massive effort for them to be able to do anything to retake this. Like I'm floored that they've been. I mean, they went from 8 to 32 off the bottom, and like really, that was like I even thought about buying there, but I was like, fucking Solana though, you know. I just couldn't do it. Look at Juno off the mat. I don't even know what's going on. I haven't really been paying attention, but like, you know, that's a nice move. That's the kind of move off the bottom. We were like hoping that would happen at like $1, not 12 cents or whatever the fuck it was. So that's nice. Yeah. Atom kind of doing where it should. Yeah. I mean, look where fucking, well, I don't know why it stopped there. Okay. Look at this thing. This was like the easiest long ever. If you think Cosmos doesn't go away, which I don't think it does, you can essentially long from here, set your stop there, and play to the top of the range at the very least. And that's like a long, I mean, that's taking more room than you actually need to, and that's a 4-hour trade. But just like we were doing with Bitcoin, you could trade the bottom of this range to the top of this range, just back and forth. I guarantee you that makes money. It's an easy trade. Oh, optimism? Okay. If you guys got more, shout them out. I'm kind of done with macro, but if you have things that you want to see or you tuned in late, let me know. It'll all be on the replay. You should check it out. Yeah, I mean, I don't see anything that like makes me get my jimmies rustling, as they say. I don't know who says that, but you know, somebody. Yeah. I even thought about selling this at $1.34 and didn't. I'm just hanging on like a fucking pleb. Curve, nothing doing. Blur, we knew that was going that way. Metis, yikes. Boy, that, whoo, Jesus, look at that. Turns out, I mean, God, look at this shit, man. Do you not look at this and just get pissed? I mean, it's not hard to think why are we stopping here? It's unbelievable, dude. Like, CZ can do whatever the fuck he wants. I mean, you know, very easy long. Again, it's the same concept behind Cosmos. Is that you're in that general area where things deserve or should bounce. I don't know where to, but like 280 is pretty easy, pretty reasonable. $60 move. ApeCoin, just unbelievably horrendous. Look at this fucking thing. I'll be curious to see what they do. This might be the other one that's relevant. Yeah. I have something to show you guys. Don't let me get off without talking about it. Yeah, Marquette, I'll do a little recap in 1 second. I'm going to cover coin, I'm going to cover ARC, and then I'll go back to Bitcoin and we'll wrap it up. Unless someone else has a question. And then I'll tell you why I've been not streaming as often and something that you should keep your head on a swivel for before the end of the year from me, which is going to be sick. So coin kind of went where we thought it would. It stopped where we thought it would. And I get the feeling like that this whole thing, come on, bitch, there, that this whole range holds. We're mid-range on coin right now. Mid-range. So we're mid-range on coin. Here's high. Here's low. We're going to do the exact same thing here that Bitcoin is going to do. Okay? Look at this shit, though. Woo. I'll tell you what, man. That is not great for them. This is what I wanted you guys to see. That is a head and shoulders on ARK. So Kathy needs to get your shit together because that does not look good. If they don't, yeah, yikes. I could see that going range low. And given that like she is such a Coinbase honk, and I mean she's so tied to Coinbase now. I mean she's not, that she has a ton of money, but like, you know, that is wow. That's a pretty clear head and shoulders. And you can kind of view that at the very least, like when the neckline breaks, essentially the distance from head to the neckline is the length down that you'll see. So like if they can't shake this, it's not outside the realm of possibility that you see ARK down at like $30, which would be insane. So yeah, I saw that this morning. I was like, oh my God, ARK needs to get their shit together, like badly. All right, so we'll do a quick recap before I get out of here. Because Marquette joined late. Marquette's my fucking dog. Thank you to those who subscribed today. I've seen a few of them. It doesn't give me the same notification every time. That's weird, but you know, I appreciate you nonetheless. What I expect to have happen here is a couple things, and I'll give my reasoning for it. We saw this move up on Bitcoin. We're right here at the area you'd expect it to stop, the pivot point on this move higher. We're also against the 50-day. The 50-day is not something you just slice through. Usually there's a battle. And so we want to see this thing battle and at least hold the area. The most productive thing would be like a couple days of it just coiling right up against this, and then you'll see like a volatility move break out higher, which is awesome. That'd be like A. We want that. That's the A plan. The B plan, really, yeah, the B plan is just hold this green box. So this green box that I have up here, it's essentially 26.2 to like the base of these candles, well, 26.5. That $300 area, I don't care what it does. If it can just hang in this area and just not give this up, great. Yeah. Great. So we want to see that happen. We don't want this to fail. And my view is if we surrender this 26.2, not only are we going down, we're going to take out these lows. So for me, it's A, we want it to hold as close to the 50-day moving average as possible. B, just don't give up 26.2. And if you do give up 26.2, I'll see a sub 25. That's the way I'm viewing that. But Bitcoin SPX in the weekly held exactly where it should. Bitcoin dominance broke out and then retested the resistance area and has flipped it to support. So those are like 2-3 very big reasons why Bitcoin's in a nice spot right now. So I don't think it will just kind of turn around and just absolutely fuck off, like, and be bad. And then Ethereum, you know, we would like to see this punch higher, kind of get back into the same game as Ethereum. I'm sorry, as Bitcoin. But when you see Bitcoin dominance rising, that's not good for alts of any kind. Ethereum, particularly, it's just going to lag. It's going to be cost prohibitive to own Ethereum versus Bitcoin for the near term. And if you see a higher high here, if you see this area taken out and you see 53 challenge or God up to 58, like that's a tremendous amount of money going out of alts of all kinds and into Bitcoin, right? So I think this is more positive, and this is even positive, like just for Bitcoin to make a nice move here. So if we get this move, you can hold on higher, take out 27.7, take out 28.2. I would fully expect to see a run back to 30,000. If that happens. And the thing is, it kind of makes sense. They could do that. They could do this, punch higher, punch through, and make a move to 30,000 and not even have to regain the channel that we were doing forever, that we had since March of 23. They could actually do a retest to the underside, eclipse 30,000, and still come back down lower and not even break anything technically. It would just be like, well, they made a challenge to try to regain the channel. It didn't happen. Well, back down low. Not a big deal. It's the type of move you would expect to see, to be honest. So that's what I see. That is what I see. And then my last thing is I'm currently in development on a project with a couple of people who are very well financed. And I'm extremely excited about it. And it's going well. And it should launch before the end of the year. The main thing that I just talked about being like a revenue creating protocol is a big emphasis. We don't know what we're going to do yet. We don't know how we're going to launch, but I've been waiting for the right opportunity to lend myself into a project. And this one, I'm the project lead. It was my idea to speak of. And people are excited about it too. So that's all I can really say right now, but you'll see more soon. And holy shit, is it awesome. But for those who have been supportive, for those who are subscribers and in the Discord, I will share more information. And I will also get you involved early. I can't say much more than that, but it's exciting. It's exciting. Anyway, that's my shtick for the time being. Yeah, it's gonna be sick, dude. It's gonna be sick. Here's the thing. It's definitely gonna be a crypto app. A crypto protocol, I mean. But it doesn't necessarily mean it's going to be for only crypto people. That's the last thing I'll give you. Which is why I like it even more. The best way to get people to use crypto is if they don't know they're using crypto. You know what I mean? Very, very cool. Anyway, guys, this has been a lot of fun. If you have questions, hit me up. I'll be in Discord. I'll be in Telegram. If you ever at me anywhere, Discord, Telegram, whatever, I always respond to those. So if you have questions, hit me up. Good talking to you guys as always. Thank you to those who subbed. And let's get out of here. Very easy plan.
5 to the 4 to the 3, 2, 1.
Karcher, good to see you, brother. Yeah, this hasn't been much to do. Seriously, hit me up, though. That was fun. Very simple plan, guys. I hope you use this. I hope you make money. And if we keep on moving the way we think, I'll be streaming again more often because I'm not going to leave you guys hanging. You know what I mean? Jake, Dano, Hodel, Marquette, Flashman, you guys are the best. Thank you for coming out. Even for the early morning stream. That's pretty sick. You always know you're coming out. We're going out when. See you guys.